is everything bad or good or whatever, is everything that happens to me part of spiritual warfare?
Is everything that happens to you part of spiritual warfare? Oh, boy.
Like, how deep does this go?
Yeah, I know. I think it depends on probably how broadly you want to define that word.
Which word?
Or phrase, spiritual warfare.
Oh.
I think that probably depends on how far you want to, how broadly you want to define it. Because I guess I want to say this. So I don't want to say that everything's a demon, okay? Because I think that's the one side, like, there's one side that's like, man, everything that happens, everything that goes wrong, there's a perspective, especially from the more charismatic Pentecostal crowd, that's like, man, it's all demons, right? Like, everything's a demon.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll blame everything on a demon. And I don't think that's accurate. I think the reality is that, as First John says, there's the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Those are the things that are involved in the world.
Okay.
And so we in our flesh engage with those things. And so we're engaging with the world. But the way that James states it is this. He says, in chapter 4 of James, verse 4, "You adulterous people, don't you know that friendship with the world means enmity against God? Therefore, anyone who chooses to be a friend of the world becomes an enemy of God." So this idea of, if you're engaging in the world, you're being friends with the world through lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life, you are actually choosing to engage in a warfare of being an enemy against God. Being, it says it means enmity against God, or war against God. Like, I am against God. And so in that sense, I do think that warfare is broader than just the demonic activity that's not seen. Okay? It's that and that's what we were talking about, like, way early in the first episode of this, we were talking about how we can engage in warfare ourselves by simply aligning ourselves with the kingdom of darkness, aka the world. Okay? So when we're aligning with the world, the things that are in this world, the lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life, the kingdom of darkness, when we're aligning ourselves there, we are engaging in warfare.
Okay.
Right? Unfortunately, we're engaging it with the wrong side, and so that's why, here in chapter 4, verse 7, it eventually says, "Submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." And so verse 10, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up." And so that's the whole idea, right? Quit being friends with the world and start being friends, I'm going to put it that way, with God. Okay? Don't go near the world, come near to God. And then submit to the Lord, resist the devil, he'll flee from you. And so I think that when we're talking about just like in our day-to-day lives, what does warfare look like? Well, I don't think it always has to look like demons and angels fighting it out all the time, right? I think it can look like in our own lives, where are we siding? Who are we siding with? Is it kingdom of light, kingdom of God, or is it kingdom of darkness and the kingdom of Satan? And that in of itself is a choosing, if you were, of where our allegiance lies in this broader war.
Okay.
But I do think that, every day, every day can feel like a battle, if you want to put it that way, in our just lives.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but I think your question more specifically was like, is everything
bad that happens to me? Yes. Spiritual warfare. Or good that happens to me.
Because I was thinking about bad, and I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes to the bad part because I do think there's the brokenness of the world, and so people, like, in other words, we make decisions as broken people that then affect other people, right?
Okay.
And by choosing by being an individual that chooses things of this world, aka choosing things of the kingdom of darkness, that can lead to quote unquote bad evil toward other people. And so in that sense, yes, we're being impacted by a spiritual warfare.
Okay.
And so I don't, but then like,
because you said there was stuff on with the world that was just that's the way it is, and Satan doesn't have to exist for me to be even
correct
do that stuff. So
correct. That's what I mean.
So
yeah.
So that part is not spiritual warfare.
Well, it is. And what I meant by, I think we're probably alluding to like way back episode, right?
Okay.
Talking about like Satan doesn't have to be there. Like the idea that, yeah, I can be part of the world. Again, the lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. I can be part of that world, engaged in that worldliness, okay, and be at enmity with God. But by choosing that worldliness, I am choosing kingdom of darkness.
Okay.
So therefore, I am choosing Satan. So I don't want to remove him completely from that equation.
So you think every time I choose, right? Okay.
Yeah, but I also think I was thinking about this though. Like sometimes we have like the word bad is a very broad word in of itself, right?
Right.
Like what is deemed bad? Like if I stub my toe, is it right? Like was that spiritual warfare? And I would go, no, that was you stubbing your toe.
Right.
That's what I would say. Right.
Okay.
Like if I got sick with a cold, is that spiritual warfare? Not necessarily. It could be you got allergies because you're you have a broken body in a broken world, and I say world, broken creation, and so therefore you have allergies, right? Like I'm not going to sit there and say all of these things are quote unquote spiritual warfare. You can say that the broken bodies and the broken world or the broken creation is the result of the initial spiritual warfare of Genesis 3. Right.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily say you've got to think of it as like active spiritual warfare at this point. It's just the consequence of it.